Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for one last time for this 2021 tennis season. The Davis Cup Finals is the last important tournament to be played during 2021, so having made a prediction for each and every other important tennis tournament this season, we could not leave this one behind. To be played in 3 cities across Europe, Madrid, Torino and Innsbruck, let's get straight to it. There are a total of 18 teams divided into 6 groups of 3. Every group winner will qualify for the quarterfinals, and so will the 2 best second teams out of all the 6 groups. Starting by Group A, it will definitely be a tough one. Featuring the defending champs, the very strong Russian team, and Ecuador, it will certainly be a tough battle between Spain and Russia for the qualification. Personally, I consider the Russian team to be stronger this year, given that Spain does not have Nadal at their disposal and Carreño Busta and Bautista Agut are not at their best level. They do have Alcaraz, who has had a magnificent year though, and they will also have home advantage, but I still believe that the Russian squad will make it through to the quarterfinals. Group B is arguably the weakest one. Canada on paper should have a pretty strong team, having made a final during the last edition. However, their 2 biggest stars, Auger-Aliassime and Shapovalov, will not be playing for their country this time. Then we have Kazakhstan with Bublik and Sweden with the Ymer brothers, none of which are strong teams either. I believe it will be Canada who will qualify, but I don't really see them going too much further in the tournament. Group C is another tough group. France has always had great teams, but compared to what they have had in the past, this year's French team is not that strong. Great Britain counts on Cam Norrie, who has had an amazing season, and have a decent lineup with Evans, Brody and the 2 great doubles players Salisbury and Niels Kupski. The Czech Republic has had great teams over the last decade as well, but their presence in tennis is not as strong as it has been. I think it will be between France and Great Britain to see which of the teams will make it through, and I believe it will be the Brits who will qualify for the quarterfinals. In Group D, we have again 2 teams which will not have their best lineups at their disposal. Both Croatia and Australia will be missing at least one of their best players, as it is the case of Borna Coric and Nick Kyrgios respectively, both of which have played very little this season for different reasons. Croatia has also had very good teams during the last decade, and it still counts on its icon Marin Cilic. However, I think it will be the Aussies captained by Lleyton Hewitt who will play the quarterfinals. Group E will definitely be one to watch. Honestly, I don't see Colombia as a threat, but damn, it will be interesting between the United States and Italy. Both countries with young players who have had their breakthrough in recent times, and also some experienced players who will definitely make their input to their teams. Taking into account they will be playing at home for the first stage, I will pick Italy over the States, but it will certainly be a tie not to be missed. Finally, Group F, which will definitely be another one to pay attention to. Both Djokovic and Zverev are supposed to be representing their countries, so that will surely be a great match to watch. Generally speaking, I believe Serbia's team is overall better than Germany's team, so I believe it will be them who will qualify, taking into account that I don't really think that Austria will be able to defeat any of them. Now, we would have to solve which of the second teams of the groups will qualify. As there is no way to determine this really, I will make no more than a guess, with the 2 stronger teams that have not qualified according to my prediction. These are Spain and the United States, which I believe have their chances of making the quarterfinals, so they will be part of the playoff draw. So, this is somewhat the structure of the draw, which would look like this if we replace with what we have predicted so far. Let's get started with the quarterfinals now. A very interesting tie to start the quarterfinals. Russia, who have a very strong team, will face the fancy American team for a spot in the semifinals. Even though the Americans are always very likable, I don't think they will be able to outplay the Russian squad headed by Medvedev and Rublev. They might have some chances in the doubles match, but still, I believe the singles will be snatched by the Russians, who also have Kachanov and Karatsev at their disposal. Great Britain vs Serbia will be the second quarterfinals tie. I don't really think there will be too much on play here, as Serbia is definitely the strongest team of the two. There could always be surprises, of course, but I will pick Serbia to face Russia in the semifinals. Italy vs Australia will be the first quarterfinals tie in the bottom half of a draw. In spite of having lost Matteo Berrettini, Italy still have a very strong team with Sinner, Musetti, Fonini and Sonego. Australia, on the other hand, does not have such a strong team if we think of what the results have been for the Aussies during the season. For this reason, I will pick Italy to play the semifinals. Finally, Spain vs Canada to close the quarterfinal ties. As mentioned before, Canada does not have a really strong team this edition, and I believe it would be a good achievement for them if they actually managed to make the quarterfinals. Semis would probably be too much for them, bearing in mind the Spanish team, so I will pick Spain to complete the semi-final spots. On to the semis now. Russia vs Serbia will certainly be a very interesting one, facing the two best players in the world and their teams. I see the two teams very similar to one another, as they both have very strong singles players but lack a bit of doubles experience. I will pick the Russians to beat Serbia and play the finals, given that I think that they have a very solid team, perhaps a bit more than the Serbian one. Finally, the second semi-final will be Italy vs Spain, two host countries that will certainly want to take their flags to the highest spot in tennis. I believe that experience will be a crucial factor in this tie, and it is the Spaniards who have the most experience in comparison to the Italians, who are mostly a young team which I'm sure will be very successful in the future, but not this time, as I believe it will be Spain who will face Russia again to determine who will be the 2021 Davis Cup champions. So, on to the final, Russia vs Spain. It will definitely be one to watch after their encounter in the group stage. Considering Spain have made it to the final, we must take for granted that all of the Spanish players have took their rhythm, so it should be an amazing tie to close the tournament. The Spanish will have all the support, for sure, and I believe that if the tie happened to go to a deciding doubles match, they would have the edge over the Russian team. However, I believe it will be the Russians who will be the 2021 Davis Cup champions, winning in two very close singles matches. Having made all this prediction, this is the end of this video and the end of tennis predictions for 2021. I hope you have enjoyed this one as well as all the others throughout the year, and stay tuned that the 2022 season will be off before you even realize. Thank you very much for your support, and we'll catch you very soon. On to the next one.